What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, well, you see, the other day, I showed you 4 lovely full art Digimon cards. But the promo numbers didn't quite line up, and not all of the colours were represented, and frankly, it seemed like some were missing. Well, it turns out some of them were missing, and now they are here. Shout out to the lovely TCG review for providing our translations. There are 4 more coming, and frankly, if you thought about it for a minute or two, you would probably be able to figure out which ones they were. And there are 4 of them, so let's get rolling. I want to start with Rosemon, because Rosemon's got Mimi, and Mimi's my favourite, and I can do it in whichever order I gosh darned well like. So what we got here is a 12 cost to play normally, 4 cost to Digivolve, 12,000 power, all 1 more than the average. Remember, as far as we are aware, these are just coming in boxes of the next set. And then what we've got is Digisorption -2. Which is to say that when you Digivolve into this, you may, if you so wish, rest one of your Digimon so that you can suspend one of your Digimon so that you can reduce the evolution cost by 2. Which is clearly a good thing, right? This is clearly a nice handy bonus. Because it means that you can Digivolve it now with a 2 cost rather than the 4 cost it should be, and this is clearly a big bonus, yeah? This is clearly a good thing. This is clearly going to help you get this rolling just that little bit more easily. So yeah, sounds good, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds good. We've then got a second skill, which is when you Digivolve, if you have a tamer in play, remember these are all full arts, they've all got tamers on the artwork, they all have skills that are something to do with tamers. One of your opponent's Digimon can neither attack nor block until the end of your opponent's next turn. And I don't mind this, but there's nothing really about this that makes it particularly special. Now, I should say that these are, as far as we know, only available as the special campaign rares, and we don't know what the pull rates are going to be, but we assume they're going to be low. We don't really want these to be particularly great cards, because if they are particularly great cards, it's just going to be, well, awkward, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Awkward. So I don't mind this, but I don't think there's anything hugely special about it. Yes, you can turn this into a 2 cost to Digivolve, but remember you do have to suspend one of your Digimon to do so. And hopefully that's one that you've only just played so it couldn't attack anyway, but if they're suspended, they still are then at risk of being deleted when they're attacked. So it's not exactly perfect. And then, yeah, fine, you've got that really nice skill that stops your opponent attacking or blocking, but it's a one-time deal, which isn't perfect. Now, weirdly enough, this is exactly the same skill as the Rosemon has in the green starter deck, a Rosemon that's not seen a huge amount of play. That Rosemon has 1,000 less power, which is actually super relevant, because remember that 11,000 is the average for a level 6, so this means that rather than being average, and you will get deleted by other level 6s, you are above average and therefore will not. So that's, I suppose, a pretty good thing. And that's a 3 cost to Digivolve. This is a 4 or a 2 with Digisorption. I'm giving this 3 wassies. It's fine. It's nice. There's reasons to like it. But I really, even though I like Mimi and she's my favourite tamer, I cannot look at this and really think, yeah, I want to play that card. I look at it and it's fine, but I don't look at this and think it's anything special. I am sorry. But what about Metal Garurumon? Well, we got an 11 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power, all fairly standard. When you Digivolve, if you have a tamer in play, draw 2. And you know what? Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a stunning skill. By the way, I'm not going to keep saying it every time, but remember these skills have to have a tamer in play in order to activate. So a lot of the time when, you know, that Rosemon compared to the other Rosemon is actually a little bit worse because you've got to have a tamer in play in order to use the skill. Though if you are playing these, you're going to have a tamer in play. And I like drawing 2. Drawing 2 is good. We don't see many draw 2. So, you got the Zudamon that's got a play draw 2, but that's a 7 cost to play. It's not exactly particularly cheap, and you have to hard cast it, so I like this a little bit more than I like that. We've also got the Plesiomon from from EX1, and when one of your opponent's Digivolution cards is trashed, you draw 2, and that's the problem, right? Because, honestly, when I look at this, I just think I'd rather have that, honestly. Like, I'd rather have that skill. That skill seems better. That skill seems like it's going to work more often. That skill seems more reliable. That skill, over the course of the game, is going to draw me more cards. And I look at it next to the Plesiomon from EX1, and I'm like, nah, mate, I'm cool. But we do also have a second skill there. On your opponent's turn, this Digimon cannot be attacked. And this actually does make it quite a bit better, because, well, like we said, when a Digimon is suspended, it can be attacked. If it can be attacked, it can be deleted, and that can be a bad thing. Here, you can't be attacked, so you're good. If your opponent wants to delete you, they either have to cross their fingers when you attack the stack, hope you're dumb enough to attack a Digimon which is more powerful that you hopefully shouldn't be doing, or they have to play some kind of option card to get rid of you, which obviously isn't an easy thing to do. So in that regard, I kind of like it. Now, compared to the Plesiomon, this Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with no Digivolution cards. And again, that's actually a super relevant, powerful skill, because we've mentioned a couple times how Digimon are vulnerable when they're suspended. Well, when Plesiomon's around, they're just plain vulnerable. And honestly, if I put this Metal Garurumon up against Plesiomon, I'd rather have Plesiomon. If I'm playing a kind of deck that's removing evolution cards, Plesiomon should draw you more throughout the course of the game. And I think I would rather be able to attack Digimon that think they're safe than stop my opponent attacking me. I like this Metal Garurumon more than I like Rosemon, but I still don't think it's great. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. Not bad, but there's nothing about this that really makes me go, oh my goodness, yes, I want to build a deck around it. Moving on then, we've got a new yellow card, we've got a new Seraphimon, and I have talked on this channel a lot about how I keep meaning to be a Seraphimon fanboy. Could this finally be the moment? Well, starting off with the stats, it's not looking great. 12 cost to play normally, 4 cost to Digivolve, they're 1 more than average, but 11,000 power is average, so cheers for that. And when you Digivolve, if you have a Tamer in play, you recover 1. You play it, you recover 1. Clearly that's good, because recovery means you put an extra card from the top of your deck down onto your security stack. This means that you do get to have more security, which means your opponent's further away from winning the game. That's all good. What's weird is that we've actually had 2 different Seraphimon with this exact same first skill. The Seraphimon from BT1, when you Digivolve, you recover 1. The Seraphimon from EX1, when you Digivolve, you recover 1. Which is weird, right? The Seraphimon, incidentally, from EX01 has slightly more power. The Seraphimon from BT1 has slightly less power, but is cheaper to Digivolve, so still not looking great on stats for this new one. So okay, it's a nice skill, we like recovery, but given that this is the 3rd Seraphimon that's had this exact same skill, I think it's absolutely fair to say, yeah, you've not given us a reason to play this card yet. We still need something a little bit more. Well, there is a second skill here. On deletion, recover 1. Okay, so essentially you recover when you play, or Digivolve, and then you recover when you're deleted, and I actually really like this. I really like the idea that I can attack my opponent's stack, and I'm taking out one of their security cards, and either I survive, yay, or I get to recover a security card, yay. It's kind of like a double win. Like, no matter what happens, I'm covered. I kind of like that. That makes me really happy. That seems like a really good thing to me, ladies and gentlemen. That seems like a good thing to me. Now, comparing it to the other two Seraphimon, the one from BT1 gives you security attack +1 if you got 3 or more security. And then the Seraphimon from EX1 on your opponent's turn, if this Digimon is unsuspended, all your security Digimon get an extra 5,000 power. So the question is whether you want to get rid of more of your opponent's security, be able to recover yours, or boost up your security Digimon such that when your opponent attacks a stack, they are far more likely to lose their Digimon. And I think I actually like this one more than I like the other two. And to be fair, the other two haven't seen a huge amount of play, so let's not go over the top here. But I do think there is a strong reason to look at this one and go, yeah, alright then, sounds cool. I'm still going to give this one between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I still don't think it's some stunning, phenomenal card, but I do kind of like the idea of evolving up and then taking out a security card and then getting deleted, and I've actually recovered 2 and taken out 1 of their security. That's a free security swing. I'm kind of alright with that. I might be underrating this, and I kind of hope I am. But the good news is that is not the last one we've got to look at today. There is another yellow Digimon. It is a Phanamon. Now here we got the classic 11-3-11 stat line, exactly what we would expect from your average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, everyday level 6. When you Digivolve, if you have a Tamer in play, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 5,000 power for the turn. Okay. It's another classic yellow thing. This is what yellow does. So alright then. The problem is, we've just got Lord Nightmon. Like, Lord Nightmon's just come out over here. And the thing is that Lord Nightmon, when you attack, you can play a yellow level 3 Digimon or a yellow card with Warrior in its type from your hand without paying its memory cost. And the problem is, if we start playing around with that, we're just getting a better version of a Phanamon, but like every turn. So Nightmon, now Nightmon lowers by 4,000 rather than 5,000, but you don't have to have a Tamer in play, and you get another Digimon in play, because then that Lord Nightmon is just sitting there on the field as a level 5, and I like that quite a bit more. Or you could play Mistymon for free from BT1, and that would lower 2 Digimon by 3,000 power, which is actually 1,000 more in total, but it is 3,000 to each of 2. You don't get to turn around and just lower 1 by 6,000, so it's not quite as simple as just going, well, this is 6,000, that's more than 5,000, and I taught maths for a while. I can confirm that 6,000 is more than 5,000, but it's not quite that simple because it's all to do with where you can actually lower the power. My point is, I look at this as a level 6 that lowers power, and I'm just like, no. Why would I ever play this over Lord Nightmon? And the answer is I wouldn't. However, it has got a secondary skill here. When you are attacking one of your opponent's Digimon, and all of their security Digimon lose 2,000 power for the turn. Now, again, in terms of lowering power, I just think we've got better options, and I'm Lord Nightmon all day long. Now, admittedly, this does give the 5,000 when you Digivolve up, and then keep doing the 2,000 every time you attack, which I very much appreciate, but I'd still rather have Lord Nightmon. But now you're also lowering security Digimon by 2,000, which actually means when you're attacking the stack, you are as good as a 13,000 power Digimon. Because if you hit a 12,000 power Digimon, instead of you being deleted, because you've got 11, they've got 12, you survive, because you've got 11 and their 12 gets brought down to 10. And I actually really like this. I think you need it all put together, and again, we've got that awkward requirement that you must have a Tamer in play, and again, I know I'm not always saying it every time because it's kind of repetitive. Do remember these first Digivolution skills on all these Digimon all rely on having a Tamer in play, which is not a given. But what we basically got here is a Digimon that can lower power when it gets going, then lower power every time it attacks, then essentially be a 13,000 power Digimon when it's attacking the stack. So you're only really talking super high power level 6s or level 7s that are going to be able to delete it, and I think if we put it all together, we get a 4 WOSY card. Although now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, hang on a second. I don't really like this more than Seraphimon, and I gave Seraphimon a lower score, and I don't know. I think the yellow Digimon here are really the stars. They are the ones to get a little bit excited about. Although I could see an argument for Metagarurumon, and Rosemon isn't terrible, it's just, I don't know. They're not as good, alright? I think in terms of beauty, they are phenomenal cards. I think they're going to be very sought after. I think an awful lot of people are going to want to get their hands on these cards, and I am very much one of them. I do think all of these cards have uses. I don't know if any of them are out and out stars. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching WOSY Plays.